Okay, I think we may have.
Hello.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear me?
I can.
Yay.
Okay, good. Oh no, now there's an echo.
Oh no, you're kidding.
That's what I hear. I hear myself echo.
Oh, I don't hear it from my end.
All right, well, maybe it'll just stop. Ah, technology.
Tech. Always
You
so
look great.
So do you. Beautiful. I love the earrings. Cute, cute, cute.
Ah, thank you. Yes, and now I'm blonde like you.
I know, you went light. Love it.
I did. Just trying to blend in with the gray because it's winning, so.
Oh yeah. It's taken over. Yeah, blonde is easier for it to just mix in. It is.
Yeah. Yeah, because it was like an Elvira kind of like Halloween costume. Yeah, it wasn't a good look. So,
no, I agree.
Yeah. So I'm so glad that we got to chat. And it says live, so I'm going to assume that it's all working.
Awesome.
If anybody is listening, can you let us know that you can hear or send things? This is like all new for me, so.
Yeah, this format seems different, doesn't it?
It does. So I'm not sure. So we just go with it. We're just going to go with it.
All right. Can you comment and let us know if you're there? I'm sitting next to Sarah, who's
anything on the Facebook page.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't either. Okay. Oh, Sarah's not on the Facebook page?
Yeah.
Okay. What did I just click? Ah, there I am.
Is it live on our page?
Sarah's on the Facebook page and not seeing it.
Oh.
Let me go.
Technology, what are you doing to me?
No, and no comments yet, so I don't know if anyone sees us or not.
Well,
just hanging out.
Let me go see from my point of view if we have. If I look on my iPad. And they stick lives in weird places. So it doesn't always like appear on. Oh, and of course you're going to be stupid for me right now, aren't you?
I see Amy says we're live. Okay.
Yes, thank you. Amy. Success. Okay. Moving on. All right.
Doing it.
Doing it. All right. So good. So welcome everybody. I'm with the fabulous Sandra Funk, who's going to tell us all about her program, the Interior Design Standard, which you've been doing for a while now. And we chatted about it not that long ago, but I know you've kind of made some changes. So I figured we should chat up again. So registration is open now. And
we are
it ends
now.
Okay. When does it end? So people have a limited time. I want everyone to know.
Correct. So we are open from right now till the 28th. So next Wednesday, the 28th at midnight, we are shutting it back down again because we also run a design firm and need to focus on those clients the other 50 weeks of the year. So yeah, so 2 weeks a year we're open, once in the spring, once in the fall. And this is it. We're here and we're open. So very excited. Yay. And thank you so much for having us. You've been such an incredible advocate of just designers. The whole idea of collaborating together and we all rise together. It's so inherent in your business, and it's a big part of ours too. So
yes, yeah, kindred spirits.
Indeed.
All right. So so now it's open, but you have a week to get in. So why don't you tell us, since I think probably people maybe have watched the first video, it's modules, and you go through it in your own time when you're ready to. So if you wanted to binge watch everything in one, you could, but you can also take your time and go slow, and you have access to it for your whole life. So, you can really go slow if you want to, or revisit things. So what has changed since then?
Sure. So one of the updates is that we are actually rolling it out one module at a time, because what we found was that some of our beloved members jumped in, skipped right ahead to the one thing that they really needed right then, and maybe didn't make it back to go through to go fully through some of those modules, and everything builds on itself, right? So while I'm such a fan of just delivering all the content, because I'm the kind of person that might just book 3 days during the week and just cruise through the whole thing. But what we realized is not everyone's the same, and some people will kind of pick and peck and have a ton of questions then because they didn't get the lesson that builds to where they are. So from the of making sure that everyone really gets it, we're rolling it out 1 week at a time for 7 weeks, and then lifetime access. So then you can go and deep dive and pick and go through. But the idea being, digest that module, and then we have a live Facebook, in our Facebook community, private, a live Q&A, a live kind of like, let's walk through it, let's get all the questions out, let's make sure everyone's understanding it, and then we drop the next module.
I gotcha. That makes sense. Yeah, because you also need time to implement things too. If you're just, if you don't, like if you read the whole book, but you didn't do any of the steps that the book is telling you to do, then it's not necessarily giving you what you need. So I like that.
Exactly. Yeah, and you might take all that information and get some really good inspiration or moments or, whatever, but if you don't, like you said, if you just read through the book intending one day to go back and implement,
right.
So this sort of kind of forces the hand a little bit. We hope.
Yeah, no, that's good. Yeah. All right, so now my next question, these are all easy questions, is no math, no square roots, no.
Perfect.
None of that. So what do you think is the biggest benefit? Like when people have gone through, what are they saying to you in their comments and like, oh my God, like that was the thing that I needed. What do you think is the biggest benefit?
So there's a bunch of little specifics, but the big overarching thing is confidence. And we hear that word over and over and over again. So it's about being, wherever they were feeling a little bit of that doubt creeping in, we go through the whole thing soup to nuts, but we're giving these designers confidence to really, really get clarity on their business model, their processes, how they price their projects, how they budget for projects, giving a ton of tools and help to make sure that all of that. My idea is if you are 100% confident in all of that, then you're unshakable, right? And so then you can come in and give a proposal to a client with just no hesitation. And when they ask those follow-up questions, you have an answer, you feel good about it, you're clear. That's what we hear most. And we hear that about multiple areas. So about the processes, about the design agreement, about the business structure, like how it's a flat design fee and markup on product, and then big is the confidence in pricing and the ability to set a flat fee that is 100% accurate based on historic data. We show you exactly how to go get that data and calculate those fees. And then we show you just how to make sure that it's always working and profitable too. So it's really that's really the big.
Yeah. Well, I know the designers in our group have gone through some of them, and that was actually one of their takeaways, that somebody said, like, what do you guys, what's everyone's experience? And what both people had said was like, I totally don't fear when my phone rings now, and I've been there. When I was first starting out, before I had my own business but I was, I was working at a store and doing the design part, and the client would call and I was like, oh, like the pit in your stomach. So, that's huge, to not dread your phone. It's such a horrible feeling to have a lack of confidence, and that's due to not having the structure and not knowing, am I charging the right amount? Am I screwing myself? Am I too expensive? To know that is unbelievable. So confidence is huge. So how would you say that you can deliver, confidence is like a non-tangible, like it's not like I'm going to go buy the new cell phone and I have it and I know what this is. So how would you say you can give that to people? What are you able to do for them?
It's so funny you asked that, because confidence became such a clear key to the program that we actually backed into creating a masterclass called the 3 strategies to stand in your space. And standing in your space is having that confidence, right? Being so clear on your business that you can just be firm and stand firm. Because we really did want to talk through, like, how does one help another person gain confidence. And, you know, so much of it about it is knowledge is power. And also just, you know, knowing that you have your business locked down. So, you know, some of those big key strategies that we talk about in the masterclass, and we've got 2 more of them coming up this week, are, you know, again, getting your pricing so accurate and so clearly based on data that you don't doubt it whatsoever. So when somebody says, whoa, are you sure? And can I get a discount if, that you are like, no, this is how I am. Like, this is based on data. This is based on real numbers. You're not going to waver, right? And it's okay to let a client self-select that they can't afford you, or they don't value design services to the level that you value yourself, right? So that pricing is one of them. Clear communication is an overarching, right? It's one thing to know it. It's another thing to be able to communicate it and, you know, say what you need to say, and then close your mouth and let the clients tell you what's going on, right? And then it's getting those processes and those strategies and getting the business model and getting the design agreement, getting it all refined and clarified and so in lockstep that you're not doubting if you can pull it off. So let's say you do set a fee that's amazing and you're 100% sure of, and you do communicate it beautifully. Then you get the job and you have to deliver. So all of that going together.
Yeah. Nice. Okay.
That's how we get confident.
Yeah. And it's huge, because if you lack that, but you have everything else, then it's a house of cards. So.
Yes. Definitely.
All right. So I want to talk about price, because I think that people hear all of this and then they go to check out, and there's something about it, like a human nature thing, where they like just slam on the brakes and they're like, ooh, but now I don't know. So to clear the air,
yes,
your fee has it changed?
No.
Okay. So $3,989. And when you are a member of our group, TDC, the Designers Collaborative, we give rebates, because when you click through our link, Sandra's nice enough to give us affiliate money, so we're sharing that with our members. So it's not going to show up as a deduction in her site. It's going to be a check that we send you for $320 when you've used the link and you're a member. So that's the monies. So for everyone who's like, I so need this, I want this, and then they slam on the brakes, here's what I hear from people. So this is the question. I know I can ramble. So the question is, so you do a lot of CEUs and great, like, you know, the sipping of wine and talking about design, and you share your information and you're generous with that. So if somebody has been sort of like on the outskirts, absorbing, taking in all of the free, right? What is different when they make the commitment and say, okay, I may not know exactly what it is that I'm getting, but I'm going to go for it anyway, and they click the button and they pay. What's the difference, would you say?
Awesome. What a good question, Heather. Okay, so seriously. So what I'm constantly talking about, and I started talking about this with designers before I even considered building out the interior design standard. Like, this idea hadn't even come yet when we were doing design sips and chatting about the design. So I can only give you so much, and then it's time for me to stop jabbering on, right? So I can give you mindset. I can give you strategies. I can give you the big hurrah. I can say we all rise together and here's how, and I can talk through a bunch of things, right? And for sure, you can be out there and you can, we've had so many amazing people in our community say, like, I'm taking notes, slow down, say it again, what have you. You can totally take these videos, and they all live in YouTube. They don't go away, right? All that is out there. But what we decided to pull over and spent 18 months, you know, really putting together the interior design standard. And here's what it entails that's so different on the inside. Every single email template that we send to our clients, to our vendors, to our trades, right? It's the actual, I think it's now 14-page design agreement that rolls through our entire process. The timelines, the container with which we create a flat fee so that we don't get taken for a ride, right? So that's the boundaries that allow us to be profitable with a flat fee over and over and over again. It's the flat fee calculator, but it's not just a spreadsheet, a calculator that we hand you, and you're maybe not a numbers person, and you're like, this is great, yippee, I don't do spreadsheets, this is so over my head, right? But the entire module that walks you through step by step by step to go back to your data, or if you don't have data, we have an example of how you can create that data with an example project. If that's too over your head, we have case studies so that you can go and take a look and try to see yourself in some of these case studies. So we've tried to really come at the numbers part from a million directions, because we know it's not necessarily designers' first love, right?
Yeah.
But it's videos, it's tutorials, it's downloads, it's PDFs, it's spreadsheets, it's swipe files. And then the big meat of it is that it's our entire potential client process, step by step by step by step, all the marketing language, all the ways that we bring them on, the presentation that we give them, but all in the swipe files so that you can grab it and you can put your name at the bottom of the email, and you can put your little touch of sass in there, or your little sweet nurturing self in there, right? You can take out the funkisms and put in the Heatherisms, just like that, right? So it's not just an example of how we do it, it's also very easy to grab it and edit it and make it your own.
Yeah.
The entire full service process, 68 steps last time we counted. I think it's probably more now. We always are iterating and rounding it out and making it better.
Yes.
So that entire 68 at least step process, we didn't just hand it to you and now you have to type it up and figure out how to get it. We built it into an Asana template that you can literally download right into your business. We've also made sure that we're using the free version of Asana so that you don't have to incur a monthly fee in order to use that process.
Very nice.
Yeah, so there's just so many layers. And again,
it's so easy.
Yeah, it took us about 18 months of just going into all the little nooks and crannies of our business and pulling out as much as we possibly could. So there's finance module, HR, admin, tech and tools, full service process, potential client process. What did I forget? I don't know. There's more. But it's the kitchen sink. If we could document it and give it to you, we are doing it. And again, lifetime access, the idea being as we round out more and we grow and learn as we are just normally doing, right? We're going to conferences, we're reading books, we're working with experts, like that's just our nature. So we're always going to be up in the game every time we launch.
That makes perfect sense. Yeah. All right. So I asked the question in our group and I didn't get any this is the question that I have. So I think that people were unsure of their question. So maybe having watched a little bit of us now can say, okay, I have a question. So if anyone has a question, please type it in the comments and we will certainly ask exactly your question. So you can ask right now if you have anything that you have been thinking about, something that's been holding you back, now is the time to ask. So if I while we wait for someone to comment, could say, what about when some designers have different types of businesses? So you have somebody that's really focused on kitchens, and then you've got somebody that really just likes all the pretty things. I just want to come and decorate. And then you have I want to do the big remodels and work with builders and stuff. So would the design standard apply to all?
So, I think the idea behind it is that it's the process of, gathering the information from the clients, kind of going through the design process that we've made really clear over, and it was not, for the standard. I made it like this in my business to start with, is that when I first started, I thought every job was different, every scope was different, how could you ever, make this more efficient and make this more clear? And then I started having employees and interns and things like that, and I knew I had to just lock down a system and a process because things were slipping through the cracks. The team was looking at me and saying, well, what do we do next? And I was like, I can't spend my whole day figuring out what you've done, figuring out what you haven't done, and pointing you in the right direction, right? So I sat down and created this structure, that process, the framework. And it does apply to whatever the scope of the work is. Because every time we're gonna go through the potential client process and get hired. Then we're gonna, we're gonna do the big design questionnaire, the intake meeting with the client, really get into their brain and try to see the project through their eyes. We're gonna take all the dimensions and the measurements and the photos. Then we're gonna come back to the office and we're gonna think tank it. And for us, we're not gonna get too far ahead of ourselves. So we do, our first phase is conceptual design, right? Layout, aesthetic direction, budget. Once we have, then we have a meeting, we go through a round of edits. Once we have that locked down, we're off and running on detailed design. That applies to any, right? All of these principles apply to any scope of work. They apply if you're building a house from scratch or if you're just doing a decorative layer. You need to figure out what they want. You need to clarify what they want to spend, what the scope is, and then you can go and take off and do the project and really dig in to whatever that scope is. And we know that if we don't do that conceptual design phase and we don't clarify scope, aesthetic direction, and budget before we dive into shopping and sourcing and all the details, it bites us in the booty every time. No matter if we're building a house from scratch or we're just coming in with art and accessories.
Right.
So yeah, so we use it across the board. And in the standard, we have that, the flat fee calculator and the budget calculator that have those different ranges as well.
Yeah, because no matter whether you're just doing a kitchen or you're just doing some accessories or you're building the whole house, either way, you're going to need those steps. So that does make sense. Yeah. It's amazing how different the jobs can seem, and this is this job, but that's that job. But actually the steps are kind of the same no matter which one you're doing. So that's a very good point. Yeah. Very valuable.
Yeah, and of course, if you're coming in at the accessories only phase, you're still going to do those bigger overarching steps, but you're not going to do a layout meeting, and you're not going to do electric schedule, et cetera, et cetera. So, those things you just you tick off what you don't need because it's just not in this scope. But the principles of setting it up for success, setting a budget together, all of those things are always going to be relevant.
Right. And that's probably the confidence that you have that I would never touch an electrician, on this, but wow, someday I could, and that kind of leads you to step into something bigger for next time, because if you're just comfortable with the furnishings and the decoration, you come up with the paint color, then if you have all of your steps in place and you're aware of it, you're knowledgeable, and then the next time you're like, you know what, I really want to knock this wall down. And so now we're going to have our trades come in. You're going to be much more confident in selling that and saying, okay, so my scope is going to be different, and all of that. So yeah, really, really interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. But it's so funny you say that, because I remember I used to say back early in my career, just decorative furnishings, this and that. And then at some point I got, the client started with the decorative work, and then it turned into, and we were in a powder room, and we were just going to replace the toilet and the pedestal sink. And then we moved to a hall bathroom, and we're just going to pick out some tile, and then do those fixtures. And the next thing I know, we were doing 3 bathrooms, all custom cabinetry, right? And then the next client said, do you do custom kitchens? And I thought, after doing 3 bathrooms where everything had to be totally unique, they didn't want anything, they wanted them to be totally their own vision and totally custom cabinetry, and all at the same time, and all those details. I was like, oh yeah, I could do a kitchen in my sleep, and I just walked through the process, and it was a complete accident. But I have since built houses from scratch and done gut renovations, top to bottom.
Right. And I'm sure the first one scared the crap out of you, right?
Well, everything still scares the cat, if I'm honest. But it's like, pick yourself up, dust yourself off. You can do this. And for me, it is really important to know where your expertise stops and where you need to call an expert to come in. So, partnering with the architect, calling the engineer, reaching out to the vendors, and asking I don't know anything about a shower valve. Teach me, the first time I did that,
I don't know that.
Yeah. But
make it work.
Yeah, you have to ask the questions, and if you listen and pay attention. By the fifth bathroom, you absolutely know you need the shower valve. Like the next thing that contractor is going to ask me after I give them this request for quote is that damn shower valve. So just jump right in, right? And it's having done it enough times that you just get to the point where you're like, okay, right, that's number 2 on the list is that damn shower valve. So yes, but your career will unfold, and some people, maybe they just would hold firm and say, no, I'm not touching that pedestal sink in that powder room, and would never have gone down that path. That's okay too.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, there's definitely comfort levels and levels of, like, okay, baby step, I'm going to test it. I tell people with the Designers Collaborative, if you're really like, just, this is so unknown to you, start with your own house, be your own guinea pig. And then, so the next time you feel more comfortable. And yeah.
Absolutely. Oh, I do a trial run of a lot of trial runs on my own homes, because it's that's over the years, and we've moved enough that it's made sense to, come in and try it here first, and then we'll see if it's great. Then I can feel confident with clients. But I don't like to practice on clients.
Yeah, things can go wrong. All right. Well, I don't see any questions, so I guess we're answering everything, or you guys are just too shy to ask, or I don't know. But yeah. So I don't have another question. I think we kind of covered.
Perfect.
All of it. Anything else that you want to share that maybe I didn't ask?
Oh, I'm trying to think what else. I think we talked earlier about price and that hesitation. And while I totally understand that, we definitely have had so many of our members, alumni who've gone through the program and have implemented it, say that the course paid for itself easily after the first client post-standard implementation. That just getting that level of confidence around the fees, getting those fees up front at the front end of a project, that it has financially really been a huge return on investment. So that's one of those testimonials that we hear and love. The other thing I'd love to mention to the crew is, of course, we'd love to have them this week. We're, it's kind of a celebration for us of we're open. It's our 1 week, so we're doing all of this extra, master class work. So we've got one on Asana. If you are interested in seeing how we use Asana in our design business, or finding out what Asana is to begin with, if it's just a confusing word, you don't know what I'm talking about. We have 2 Asana master classes coming up. And then we also have that stand in your space, those 3 strategies, and we take it much deeper, how to get your finances in order, your communication in order, and your processes in order to the level of that confidence. So we take a little deeper dive there as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so we do have a question from Amy. She says, she owns a decorating den, interior franchise. So how do you think the program can benefit someone who owns that kind of franchise? And yeah, I've talked with Amy a little bit about it, and it is set up different, So are you familiar with them, and what would you say?
So I'm not familiar with the back end of the decorating den franchises, but I get that you already probably have a framework. So Amy, I think we'd have to take it offline and talk about it more. If you have a pricing model, a framework, if you have processes and systems in place, where are you thinking you could level up? We can talk more about what that program entails and what our program entails, and kind of chat it through. So I would say reach out directly, so that we can see, because I'm not familiar with the back end.
Yeah, it is an interesting concept. They kind of give you like a package deal of, but they also, kind of make it so you have to buy this particular car and this particular color. I don't know if they're still doing that. So, it's very structured, and there are some, people who help each other out in the decorating den world. So it's kind of its own special thing. But I think it's, any training that you do is going to benefit you. You never know exactly what you're going to get from something. And from every coach I've ever worked with, it's kind of surprising what you walk away with. There's the idea that you have, and then there's the aha moment that actually came about that you didn't know about. It was like, oh, this is what I need to do. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, I know. I think I get a different experience and a different aha and eye-opening from all these different perspectives as well. And I'm interested to know too. So the design, I would have thought that Decorating Den would have had the buying power that the Designers Collaborative had, but apparently she sees value in being a part of the Designers Collaborative.
No, not necessarily. We've talked about it. It is sort of a buying group in a way.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, so there is some crossover there.
Yeah, there's definitely crossover. We probably have a few accounts they don't have, and vice versa, and that kind of thing. And yeah, so
gotcha.
okay. So Amy says,
group. Got it.
Something with Luann. So
nice. Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah. So again, feel free, reach out. You can catch us at info@houseoffunk.com. My mind just went blank. Same thing for those. DM us or reach out to us at that email address if you want to be in on the master classes, and we'll send you a link. We can get everybody involved. So yeah, that would be awesome.
You're very generous in all you do.
Oh, thank you so much. As are you. I mean, I think I love your group. I love what you're doing for our industry, because so much of what we talk about is, really trying to actively increase your buying power to increase your profitability. And I mean, you're key in that.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Brilliant. All right. Awesome.
All right. Well, thank you everybody who tuned in, and I'm going to save this video and probably post it on YouTube as well. So thanks everybody. Thank you, Sandra. Best of luck. Sign up for all her free things, and of course sign up for her program. It's absolutely worth it. It's so funny, like, to think, when you buy the cell phone, you know exactly what you're getting. It's a tangible thing, but how do you put a price on confidence? How do you put the ability to not fear your phone ringing?
Yes. I feel like you're just like you've got it all under control. Yeah.
Yeah. Control. I love control. Control's my favorite.
That was awesome. I love it.
All right, girl.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, you have a great day.
You too. Have a great one.